Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. We're making some make-ahead vegan meals. We've got one of each, a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner recipe. So you can choose to make all of them for a big meal prep situation, or just pick one. They're all super easy to make, healthy, and good tasting. Before we're gonna get into that though, I wanna give a big shout out to iHerb, because you guessed it, they're sponsoring today's video. iHerb is a natural products website selling over 5,000 products to over 160 countries, including Germany, which is great because I live here. So if you live outside of the US like me and you've always wanted to try a specific product from there, you can do that now, which is so awesome. They have a huge range of vegan and organic products, and all the things that I'm using for these recipes from their site are gonna be linked down below. Okay, let's get into the recipes now. Beginning with breakfast, of course. We're making vanilla and hemp rice pudding. Grab a small to medium-sized pot. Mix together all the following ingredients. Some short grain white rice. I'm sure you could also use brown, but then you'd have to add in more liquid and definitely more time. A few tablespoons of hemp seeds. Always good to have those. As for sweetener, I went for maple sugar, something I've never seen before in a German store. And yeah, it tastes really caramelly and it smells kind of like coconut sugar. Then add in the liquid. This is some oat milk. And also don't forget about the vanilla. I'm using some pure vanilla extract, which is, again, a product that I don't seem to find anywhere at home. Bring this mixture up to medium-high heat, and then once it starts bubbling, bring down the heat to medium-low, and let that cook for about 25 minutes. If it starts getting too thick, then you can add in a splash of water or two. Make sure to stir every few minutes or so that the rice doesn't burn. Let the rice pudding cool off for a bit before transferring it over into a glass jar, which will eventually be put in the fridge, and then the next morning, right before you go to school or to work, you can add your toppings, some fresh fruit or nut butter. In this case, I added some berries. I also added a handful of this pumpkin seed granola on top. It was really yummy. And then here's another item that I've always wanted to try. It is some PB2 powder, which is powdered peanuts. No, it's powdered peanut butter that you have to mix with a bit of water to get a peanut butter-like consistency, or you add in too much water and then you have a peanut sauce. And then since this makes enough for 2 servings, here's another topping idea. I poured some more oat milk on top, added some chopped fresh strawberries, and a handful of these mulberries. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing them correctly, but I've never had that before. The flavor reminds me of a mix between goji berries and figs. And we can't forget about one of my favorite things in general, which is this maple almond butter. It's so good. Next up, lunch. We've got another wrap recipe in this video, I know. This one is a Chipotle roasted bean wrap. Start by preheating your oven to 200 degrees Celsius and also line a baking sheet with parchment paper. For this recipe, we'll be making a creamy cashew spread. If you're short on time, you can just substitute that with vegan cream cheese or even just hummus. But if you want to make that, go ahead, grab some cashews and let them soak in some hot boiling water for about 20 minutes or so. You can also just boil the nuts in some water for the same amount of time. In the meantime, grab a different bowl and in there goes some chickpeas, some kidney beans, and a few tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Surprisingly, this stuff tastes totally different to the nutritional yeast that I'm used to using, so that was quite interesting. I season it with, of course, some Chipotle chili powder. Also, a pinch of sea salt. So this liquid substance is a few tablespoons of the chickpea water. Now pour the beans onto your baking sheet and spread them out evenly. They shouldn't be touching that much. And that goes into the oven for 22 to 25 minutes. While that is happening, we can work on the cashew spread. Grab your food processor, and in there we're gonna blend the drained cashews, about a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, a few tablespoons of vegan yogurt, and I also added a teaspoon of these dried herbs. You can also go ahead and season it with salt and pepper. Start blending, and you will have to scrape down the sides a few times in between. It's a similar process to making nut butter, basically. Just keep at it, keep blending until it turns into this. At this point, the beans should be roasted and ready, so start assembling the wraps. A layer of greens, and about a handful of the roasted beans. Then add any raw vegetable that you might have at home. I went for some grated carrot, and a few raw onion rings that I let sit in some water for about 10 minutes earlier, just so that they can lose some of their intense flavor. Lastly, I sprinkled some more nutritional yeast on top. You could, for instance, add avocado, or just some more of the cashew spread, some lemon juice, whatever you like. Now roll it up, making sure to tuck in the sides as you go, and then just wrap it up in some parchment or sandwich paper and put it in the fridge. For a full lunch, I would also recommend taking with you some more snacks or fruits or veggies, and then you'd be good to go. Last but not least, we're making the dinner, so this is a cozy and spicy potato and bean stew. It's super easy. Start by peeling and cutting up your veggies. We've got a clove of garlic, a red onion, celery, and a medium-sized carrot. Also, about a pound of yellow potatoes. Now bring a large pot to medium-high heat with either some olive oil, coconut oil for searing, or go all natural and just use water. whatever you prefer. Start by adding the onions, carrots, and celery. Let those saute for about 5 minutes before adding the garlic and then the potato cubes. Give those a good stir, making sure that everything gets a bit of color, and then mix in a tablespoon of tomato puree and a drained and rinsed can of kidney beans. In the meantime, I made some veggie broth by mixing together water and vegetable stock powder. That goes in the pot, as well as a can of diced tomatoes. For a better flavor, add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of strong brewed black coffee. Yep, coffee. I'm not even a coffee drinker, but this really makes a difference adding that in there. Let that bubble away on medium heat for 20 to 25 minutes. The veggies do not have to cook all the way through, since you might want to reheat it the next day. I also seasoned it with some more Chipotle chili powder, some more of the dried herbs, smoked paprika powder, and a tiny bit of cumin. I ended up serving it with some fresh spinach, fresh herbs, and some plain vegan yogurt. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thanks also to iHerb for sponsoring this video. That's enough for today. See you guys soon. Bye!